I get shit done, I have fun, it's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Renovator. Today I have a terrific guest. He's going to talk about connecting the dots on your journey to success when networking. It's actually called networking for a reason. It's really important to work your net. And this gentleman is an advocate for working the net in an effective sort of way. So if you're here watching us live, you're in for some great information. And if you're watching us on a replay, you'll still have the great information just a little bit later. And if you are watching us on a replay, hashtag replay would be great. If you've got some questions, ideas that you want to share with us about the show, this episode, or ideas for other guests, by all means, let us know. You can just send a message via the way you're capturing this video today. I have a shameless plug, but before I do that, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this with your community so other people can have the valuable, low cost content that comes your way. So in order to be able to provide this, I have a shameless plug. Just like it says on the last end of the video there, go to coachphil.ca. At the top of the webpage, there is a link to go to your business growth score. One of the things you'll find that it'll either confirm that you're right on target and nothing to do, so pat yourself on the back. And if there's something in there that you'd like to expand on, learn about, improve, complimentary coaching session, 30 minutes is available to you just for watching the show. Just let us know that you found it through the Business Renovator, and we'll set up a time. If it's not me, I'm part of a network of some terrific other business coaches around the globe. So if it's not me, I can make an introduction to somebody else, and they'll provide you with a 30-minute session as well. My guest today works to empower small business achieve more by helping them create dynamic professional relationships. He does this by operating a membership-based referral program called AmSpirit Business Connection and shares insightful content via his podcasts, articles, and book. Matter of fact, he's been a guest on my show before, and it's worth coming back because the thing we're going to talk about today is networking, and it's working your net effectively. One of the things I've experienced in my last couple of years is there's room for improvement to help you as an entrepreneur, business owner, or anybody else that wants to leverage the power of connecting the dots via networking. We want to hear from Frank, my guest today. So he is the president of AmSpirit Business Connections, which empowers entrepreneurs, sales representatives, and professionals to become successful through networking. He also hosts a Networking RX podcast, which has insights and interviews related to better business relationships. Finally, Frank is the author of several books, including Foundational Networking. Without any more time for me, I'm going to bring him up. Hello and welcome, Frank.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate you bringing me back in.
Well, you know, when networking is such a hot topic around the globe, and there's good ways and better ways and excellent ways, It's really a good idea to get some people to come on here because your former life, you've done a bunch of things. You're highly educated, but you gave that all up to do this. Like you were a lawyer by trade, so to speak, right? But you're not practicing law anymore.
No, haven't done it in 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and you understand business admin because you have an MBA. You're not doing any of that, but you're supporting the people in business with your networking process group chapters. So I'm happy you're here. It was a video, like we were just hearing, a video that encouraged me to reach back out to you and say, yeah, hell, we got to get Frank back up here and share some insights about how to be really effective at networking and how to make it work. Often people, my experience is often people go, and it is like a party environment. It is kind of fun. There's lots of energy when you get a group of people together, but the fun doesn't grow a business alone. You need to do some work. That's why it's called networking, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it takes you. It is.
We were talking in the green room about a whole bunch of different things, and maybe just start off, just so people understand that you do have expertise in this field. How you got started with AmSpirit?
Yeah, it's I do have a law degree. I do have an MBA. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I came here to go to law school 40 years ago this August. And I always operated under the notion that to be successful, you needed to accumulate degrees and do well in school. And I mean, my father was a professor. My mother an educator. My stepmom an educator. I mean, it was, that's what we learned. And so when I went into public accounting, I was a tax consultant, and I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something more entrepreneurial, and decided to leave and go into private practice. And a funny thing happened when I went into private practice is that all those degrees and all those letters after my name were really meaningless. I just figured, he's got a law degree, he's got an MBA. At that point, Phil, I had a CPA. I was a certified public accountant. Who wouldn't hire me? Well, the answer is a lot of people, because they didn't know who I was. And I didn't understand the whole notion of networking. I'd go to events and just hand my card out, and people didn't care. And it was really a wake-up call. I had lunch one day with a friend of mine who was an attorney, and I just asked her. I said, to back up, she'd taken a different path out of law school. She had her own firm. She'd started a firm. She was doing well. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to be successful? She said, why don't you get into a tips club or a leads group? I had no idea what she was talking about, but I was pretty much desperate. It was either that or going back and being a tax consultant. And I, through a couple introductions, got invited to an organization that helps entrepreneurs, sales reps, professionals get connected, develop relationships, exchange referrals. Made total sense to me, Phil. You can lift up your whole world just helping other people become successful and trusting they'll do the same for you. And I doubled down on it. At one point, had an opportunity to buy it. This is in the early 2000s, and I did. Rebranded it as AmSpirit Business Connections, which is short for American Spirit. You and I were joking before. It's this may not play well in Canada. It's like it's really just a spirit. It's nothing political. It's the notion of being free. And I think that's I look at the US Mexican border. I'm not trying to get political here, but there's the debate over building a wall. And the wall is not to keep people in. The wall is to keep people out. People want to come to this country. People want to come to Canada. They want to be free. They want to have the ability to have a business. Well, to have a business, you have to have a network, and you have to have a network that works.
I just, as you're talking about that, and thinking about what we talked about in the green room, and I'm looking at the branding there, AmSpirit. I'll just put I am Spirit. There we go.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
So I just modified the branding a little bit, but I get it. Like we were talking about it, it is about the entrepreneurial spirit. And what I like about you and what you represent is you're supporting the backbone of your country and North America's backbone. And that's the small businesses. And small business people generally are pretty damn good technicians, whether they be CPAs, lawyers, plumbers, HVAC, doesn't matter. They still need to be able to tell their story in a way that resonates with the people that they want to work with, so that they can make their life and the people they serve a little bit better. right? And that's why I like you, and that's why I'm glad you're here. Matter of fact, we met through networking in another different sort of way, but that's where we started, and we've kind of hung out with each other, not on a day-to-day basis, but I see what you're up to. You might see what I'm up to once in a while, and then here we are. So it's
we check in.
Yeah,
We check in. Yeah.
it's all about relationships, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about everything. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I challenge people to stop and think about something they did on their own. It's nothing. Yeah, I went to law school. I got the degree. But man, I borrowed notes from people and learned how to study, and it was just leaning on lots of people, and somebody taught me to read somewhere along the way, right? I mean, it's just we've done nothing alone, and we like to think that we have this kind of John Wayne mentality that we've done it, we did it, look at us, we're great, and it's like no, we need other people, and the sooner you realize you need other people and learn how to lean into that and really utilize those other people, the better off you're going to be.
I think it was Zig Ziglar. If it wasn't, you can correct it. But he said, if you help enough people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want, or they'll fill up your purse with the coins that you need to get where you want.
Yeah.
Something
You
like
can. I think it was. You can get everything you want in life just by helping enough other people get what they want in life. And the interesting thing about that, I believe that's true. A lot of times people will hang their hat on that and then get discouraged. But it's like, listen, I did a couple things and I don't have what I want. And if you stop and listen to what he said, if you can get everything you want in life, if you help enough other people get what they want in life.
Yeah.
It's not a definitive formula. So if you don't have exactly what you want in life, well, you probably haven't done enough yet. So keep after it.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah. And then in the Think and Grow Rich, Hill's research found out that, you're doing that continuous work, and you might feel discouraged. You're running, putting in all this effort, and nothing's happening. But if you pursue it and keep doing it, all of a sudden the floodgates open up, and you've got so much opportunity. You wonder where the heck it's been. Well, it was always there. You just had to prove to prove to the universe that you were ready to do it, and you served enough people. And it just, I've experienced that many times. The floodgates open.
Yeah, we're inherently impatient beings. Is really what it boils down to.
Well, yeah, and I think that's reaffirmed or look at the fast food industry. Like, why do we go there? Because it's quick and easy, and get on with everything else. I got to hurry up and get done. There's a song, I think it was the Desert Road Band. I'm not going to sing it, but I can recite it. It says something along the lines of, I'm in a hurry to get things done. I rush and rush until life's no fun. But all I got to do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and I don't know why. I love those lyrics. I don't very often remember lyrics, but that one resonates with me because it reminds me to slow down. The president of our company, Focal Point, he has a quote that I really like, and it is, slow down to go fast. Slow down, sharpen your axe. You can cut more trees down with a sharp axe than you can just go constantly with no brakes. There was when I was on the Phoenix seminar, which was a Brian Tracy thing way back when. It's now called something else. Perform at your best. Anyway, he talked about an example where they had a study done where people were working in a plant, in a factory, and they were putting products on a pallet, and they had some go constantly no breaks other than lunch and coffee breaks, and they had the other ones actually slow down, put something on the pallet, take a couple of second break, like don't rush it, ease and flow. They actually got more done with less effort than the ones that went hell-bent for leather.
Interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting, right? So we think another crazy story is by is his name Pritchett Price? Sorry if I messed up his name. He wrote a book called E Squared, or U2, and the first story in there is about the fly. Don't be like a fly. Well, a fly tries to work hard by bashing out of the window. So your living room window, there's a fly, little tiny speck of life, bang, bang, right? But it either dies or we kill it, and it doesn't have the critical mass to go through there. So why do it hard? That's what I think you help people do, is not be the fly. You teach them to slow down, get connected, and you're going to explain to us how your process works. And don't be like the fly. How can you creatively and innovatively build your network?
Yeah.
Not do it like a fly, bashing into people, seeing a lot of people hand out a lot of cards. Hey, I'm the guy in the room.
Yeah.
That doesn't work very often, right?
No, well, it's that's a very linear process. If you want more, you've got to work harder and you have to keep working. Whereas networking done right is more of an exponential process. Um, when you get to a point, each increment of work provides a, a tremendous amount of more benefit. So um, but it takes patience.
Patience. Yes. Well, it's like if you plant something, there's a gestation period, no matter what it is. Creating human beings, there's a gestation period.
Right.
So in the networking, you need to plant your seeds and then nurture them, don't you?
Yeah.
You actually have a process that you actually have your community use. Is that proprietary, or can you share with our audience?
Well, when we're talking about networking is no. To answer your question, it's not proprietary. But thank you for asking. And I have a lot of I have a lot of conversations with coaches, consultant types, entrepreneur types, and I truly want to help people. I realize my organization is not everywhere, but I want to help people, and it kind of breaks my heart to see somebody who really has a passion for what they do, and you kind of indicated they're a great tactician, right? They're good technically with whatever it is they do, um, and they desperately want to do their own thing, but they struggle getting referrals. And it's in my mind, it's very these are these are these are easy things to fix or simple things to fix. It does take work though, right? I mean, it's just, I mean, it takes work. Um,
There is effort required, but it doesn't have to be hard like to fly.
no, but you have to put the work in. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I tell people, and you saw my video. There's a video floating around on this, and I tend to do this training several times a year on different platforms. But I tell people that there are three reasons, and only three reasons you don't get referrals. The first reason is you don't have a relationship. And a perfect example of that is we'll pick on financial advisors. You get a financial advisor calling you or emailing you out of the blue and saying, "Hey, I want to be your guy." Well, they may be totally competent, but I don't have a relationship with them. I don't know them. I don't know if I like them. I don't know if I can trust them. And you can't expect that something's going to happen in that moment. And so that's the first reason why people don't get referrals is they don't have a relationship. But it's entirely possible to have a relationship with somebody and not get referrals. And I like to use my parents as an example. I like to think my parents loved me. They got me through college. They got me to college, got me through college, and have helped me all along the way. But in all these years, my parents have never given me a referral. Why? We have a relationship, but why? Because I haven't taught them how to recognize opportunities for me. Now, my relationship with them is different, and that's fine. And I wasn't ever expecting that, but I use that as an example of the notion that there are people out there that really think we're great and really want to help us, but we haven't done the work to help them help us by empowering them with things to look for, how to look for things, how to help us. And I find that's probably 80% of the problem. The first 10% is the not having a relationship, 80% in the middle, and the last 10% is what I'll call the last failure is not giving people the ability to talk about what it is you do. And it might be a situation where they're just not comfortable talking about what it is you do. For example, life insurance. I might like a life insurance person. I might recognize opportunities to help a life insurance person, I'm just not sure I'm comfortable having that conversation with somebody. I need some help with respect to that conversation. So that's the third piece of it is, but it's really that middle piece. And I always tell people, don't tell me what you do. Phil, I know you're a coach. I know you're a coach. Talk about when you do it. And what I mean by when is don't just, paint a picture for me. If you know the CEO that's lamenting not being able to keep quality people on his staff, that's where I can come in and I can do this. And here's what you might want to say to them to bring me up into conversation or bring up the note. Have you ever thought about working with somebody? I don't even know who I would talk to. I'll give you somebody to talk to. I know this guy Phil Jilks, and he's with Focal Point Coaching, and he's happy to give you 30 minutes of his time just to explore if you're even a good candidate for him. So it's those three things.
Good morning, Darren. It's good to see you on here. I didn't know they could just pop in without making a comment, but anyway, he did. I don't know how he did it. Darren's a magic guy. He provides people with an alternative to sugar to help them with their diabetic challenges.
Gotcha.
It's really good. Now he's saying good morning. So let's put that. There we go. Good morning. So he's got a product. I'm not going to pronounce it because I probably get it wrong, but it's an alternative to sugar that I've had it in pastry, and it's good. He didn't do bake. Through networking, he has a baking company, and they made some samples with his product, and it was amazing. Anyway, and him and I go for breakfast once in a while.
Oh, there you go.
It's kind of cool. And I met him through networking. Isn't that interesting how the dots connect up?
Yeah.
As Steve Jobs says, right?
Yeah.
It's very cool. I like the idea of the when part. And I was writing down here. I kind of do my recap before at the end of the show, but it's worthy. 10, 80, 10. And the last 10 is give people the way to refer you. I like how you tie in when this, then you start, and if you help people tell their story of introduction to you, whoever you is referring.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, it's three parts. It's right. One's the relationship. Two is it educating them on things to recognize.
Right.
When you see this, think of me. If you hear this, think of me. All right. And then the third thing is really kind of the connection, right? Where the recognition is just happening in my head. Oh, here's somebody, they're complaining about not having staff, not being able to keep people. I recognize that's an opportunity for Phil. Now, if left in my head, it doesn't do any good. But if you empower me with what needs to be said, then I've taken it out of my head and I've made the connection and saying, have you ever thought about talking to somebody? There are people out there that can help you over this sort of hump. They've helped other people over it. I'm sure your competitors have used people like this. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I haven't, so it's those three parts.
I'm going to add on to that because I think it's the psychology. I don't think I know it's the psychology behind it. This thing called the RAS, reticular activating system. And what that does is what you've done here by explaining your process is you're getting us to plant a seed deep inside the mind of the people we're connecting with. And if we've done a good enough job with that, it's not that we're getting them to think about enrolling in our programs with us. Oh, if they do, that'd be great. But that's not the intention. It's just who is it out there that we don't know that has learned about us from a relationship connection. So the reticular activating system is it's part of the amygdala, and it's that it's like if anybody ever bought a new car. And what do you notice besides you really like the new car, all the fancy gadgets?
You see them everywhere. You think you got that special car.
That's right. So if we do a really good job of implanting what we do when idea that you talk about, which is brilliant, by the way, then we've helped other people. Might be 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 3 months when they go out and they run into somebody, say what you just said. Hey, have you ever right? Because I could introduce you to so and so, or I can point you to where they are. So yeah, I think it's crucial to do that.
Well,
Darren just
go ahead.
wrote a really long thing. I want to see what it says. So it says, well, do you want to read out? You have a really good radio voice.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I know networking is super important, but my key takeaway so far is to teach people how to recognize an opportunity for me and how to bring me into the conversation. So important, and I never thought about that before. But it's true. The one thing I will say, I was going to jump in, is teach people to recognize opportunities. What people fall down on that. They conceptually they understand that. Certainly in AmSpirit they understand that. Where they fall down is they think, okay, I just have to have one thing to say. I have one thing for people to recognize. And what I tell people is you need to think about your business as if it were an ice cream shop. And if you had an ice cream shop, an ice cream store, you wouldn't just serve vanilla. You wouldn't have one flavor. You would have lots of flavors. And so I encourage people to come up with lots of different things to recognize. And there are people in my organization. Well, there's a guy who is he sells health insurance, which is United States is certainly important. It's not as much important in Canada, but we won't go there. But anyhow, he probably has 30 different ways that he talks about himself. Hey, when you see this, and he doesn't talk about them all at the same time. Now, our meetings are weekly, and so he's coming into the same audience every week, and every week he's serving up a different flavor for the audience. If you know somebody with terminal cancer or terminal illness, here's something we can do to get them some insurance coverage. Oh, okay. I'm talking to somebody who's got stage 4 pancreatic cancer. They need to try and do something. What can we do? Well, I'm going to go talk to Chris because he said there's something there. So it's, having lots of different ways of recognizing opportunities is really important.
I like that, recognizing opportunities. And also like the 4-letter word, when. That's brilliant, right? And I'm going to say the same thing I always say about this time. The thing I hate about my show, it has to end.
Ah, there you go.
Well, it doesn't have to end. We could talk, but people will get tired of listening to us. So
yeah, that's right.
So before we wrap it up and end it, I wanted to bring up, and I didn't do it in the pre-shows, so hang on as I get you up here. I'm going to go to the LinkedIn. It should pop. There we go. And now to make sure that people can read that, let's put in a larger. There we go. This should be it. So what I put up here, guys and gals, if you're watching it now or later, it's still going to be here, is Frank's LinkedIn page. And you can see that is there. Anything you want to mention about that particular page before we go on to your website?
No, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, it's my LinkedIn page. I have people who turn their nose up at social media or LinkedIn. It's like, you know what? The purpose of these things is to generate conversation, right? Message me, email me. Let's have a conversation. You got a question? I'm happy to answer it.
Cool. And it doesn't cost anything. I could message him because we're connected. See that?
There you go.
But I'm talking to him right now, so I'm not going to send him a message. And then the next place is here. Right there. It's your actual one of your websites.
Yeah, that's my my personal website, and it links to all things Frank Agin. Shows the books I've written. Links to AmSpirit Business Connections. There's a phone number there. There's my emails there. Other types of programs I'm involved with. Yeah. So
like there's free stuff. You can download it.
Yeah.
Networking Hub, Charitable Roundtable. I've been on your podcast because you invited me, so I thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
And so it's been we'll have to maybe do this again and talk more about networking because it is about working the net, and you're pretty damn knowledgeable about this stuff. If there was one thing that you would recommend to our audiences watching today or later, what would that be?
Well, there's lots of things I can say, but to keep it on theme with respect to, getting referrals. I encourage people to, have a notebook or a deck of index cards, and as they're driving around and having idle time, is to think about the different ways that you serve people. Like I'll tell a realtor, listen, I know you buy and sell houses, but everybody who comes to buy and sell a house, everybody who sells their house, everybody buys a house through you, they're all doing it for a different reason. And each one of those reasons is a different flavor. And if you start thinking about what all those different flavors are, you'll become more successful in getting people to recognize opportunities, because you'll have little things that you can, as you've correctly pointed out, that you can plan in the reticular activation system. So when somebody says, "Oh, geez, these high taxes where I live," you know what? They're really saying is, "I need to move. I need a realtor." And everybody has lots of different things, lots of different flavors that they can document and think about. It takes, it's networking, it's work.
It is. That's a great way to wrap this up. Don't go away, but I'm going to end up the show here. So thanks again for being here, Frank, and sharing some of your wisdom. Well, 10-80-10. Relationships, empower others, and give people the way to talk about you in a favorable sort of fashion. And that ties into this. Wonderful. You is uniquely different, because so are you. And that's what this represents. So be your unique, wonderful self. Until next time. Well, actually, all the time. Not if you miss Business Renovator episodes, still stay wonderful. And if you can join us again, that would be fantastic. Share this out with your friends, your social media buddies, and anybody that you think would benefit by understanding when and how to network. I'm Coach Phil. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful week.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one.